This is the Vandlion A52. I picked it up off AliExpress for just under $30, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Upon unboxing, you'll find the manual, the camera itself, along with a C-type charging cable, and of course the mounting clip. So without further ado, let's jump right into the details of this camera. I'm going to leave the specs from the manual on the screen now, so pause the video here to see those details.
My goodness, this poor little camera. I've abused this thing so bad. I dropped it, but not intentionally. I dropped it like probably about 3 or 4 times. I see all that, there's nick marks there, and you got some scrapes and scratches there. Just tiny little things here and there. I didn't break it though. When I did drop it, I dropped it from probably about a 5 to 6 foot range. And yeah, it didn't, the SD card did not pop out. I never had any issues. It never glitched out on me. It's been actually really, really reliable for what I thought was going to be a total piece of junk. Now, the audio on this thing is not incredible.
This is a test of the audio for the Vandlion A52. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. I am 1 foot away from the microphone. The video during the day isn't that bad. As you can see, we're going to do a slow pan here. It's a little wobbly, it's a little shaky. There's absolutely no stabilization, but the picture is relatively clear and crisp, which I'm actually amazed by. I think it's slightly crisper and a little more focused than the Boblov camera that I actually had on here previously. And that camera was at least 4 times the price of this one. But the only problem that I don't like about it is it's so cropped and zoomed in that it's almost kind of like you feel like you're having tunnel vision and you might miss vital information. If they had a wider field of view that was true to like 180 or something similar to like that, that would be great for this camera. Then I'd be giving this a camera a 10 out of 10 for daytime footage. But unfortunately, this looks like a 70 angle field of view. Not seeing anything that you need to see for vital information. You're seeing exactly what's directly in front of the camera in tunnel vision. And even so, like when you hold stuff up close to you now, you can see it, but if it's too close, it gets blurry. So it has to be almost at arm's length in order for you to actually visually see it. You can read all the labels on these pops in front of me here. You can read all the labels and the price tags. The colors are nice and vivid. Everything is true to life, especially when you have Walmart lighting. Look at like everything is vivid anyway in Walmart. So it's pretty decent. I actually really liked the overall quality of it. Unfortunately, the night vision is where this camera really lacks. This is a test of the night vision. This is a test from 2 feet away from the target in front of us. This is a test of the night vision. This is what it looks like with the night vision off. This is what it looks like with the night vision on.
This is with night vision. Without night vision. This is with night vision. This is without night vision. With night vision. Without night vision. This is with a flashlight at night. This is with night vision with the flashlight. This is with night vision without the flashlight. This is without night vision. This is with the flashlight. And this is without. You can see it probably about 3 or 4 feet in front of you. But the day footage isn't actually that bad. It's a little cropped in for my taste.
And this is our arm's length. This is what it looks like at arm's length. And that's crazy. Because look how zoomed in I am.
But you know, you get your 1080p out of this. You get pretty decent run times.
So with a 32 gigabyte memory card, I got about 4 hours worth of video footage, 4 hours and 19 minutes to be exact, and before the battery actually depleted completely, before I had to recharge it. But yeah, it didn't use up the whole entire memory card during that time. I still had a little bit of memory left over, but even though I'm going to leave the specs for that memory slash runtime ratio on the screen now, so you guys can see how much runtime you're going to get, or how much memory you're going to have versus how many hours you can record for. And as you can see, the ratio for my 32 gigabyte card is about 4 hours at FHD. And if you had just the 1080p, it's going to give you 6-hour runtime, and then 8 hours for the 720p, which isn't too bad. And as far as recharge time went, it only took about an hour and a half, hour and 32 minutes exact to recharge this from completely depleted. So that's pretty good.
So I'm just going to give you guys a brief tour of this, because for the money, for if you're on a really strict budget, like I just had a Boblov camera on here the other week, and that was like $100 and something camera, and This isn't that. This is definitely not that. This is like almost toy level, but also definitely not toy level, because the fact that it does do everything that it says it's going to do in the manual and then some. And it can take a beating, and it's pretty well made for a tiny product like this. The only thing, my biggest gripe about this product was the actual clip. And the clip itself, you go like this. See how it has a little bit rubber ring there. And you go ahead and you take it and you start it like that, and you thumb screw it in there a little bit, and then you're good to go. And the clip is pretty sturdy itself. It actually does grip pretty well. The only problem that I had was eventually when you're walking or doing anything, this little screw starts to kind of come out while you're doing your stuff. And that's what's going to cause it. It just ends up going like that and kind of falling out, which is not good. But at the same time, you put a little bit of extra elbow grease in there, really tighten it good. It should be pretty secure for the most part. Just be mindful of that because it's not the best. It also can be used as like a dashboard camera as well. And the one thing I do like about this, which is kind of cool, is you can change the angle of the camera. So you can have it facing this way, or you can face it the opposite way. You got an open lens there, which I don't know. Maybe you can kind of adjust if you have a little tool to adjust the focus. And then also on top of that, you have two LEDs here for the IR illuminators. Now, this is the SD card slot. Like I said, when I did drop this, the SD card did not fall out. So I know some cameras, if you drop them, the SD card goes whoo and flies out there. You have your C-type charging port. I don't believe it's waterproof. Over here, you have your microphone. Over here, you have your indicator lights. Over here, you have obviously the mount. And then over here, you have a bunch of buttons. You have your volume control. You have your settings so you can jump from one to the next video. And then you have play. Then you have the save and video. So basically, I'm going to teach you guys how this all works. And over here, this is audio recording. And this is your return or screen off. And then this is obviously your menu. So how this is going to work, I'm going to jump right into it right away. You're going to notice there's no power button here. And the reason for that is because when you turn this button on here in the on position, the camera's going to turn on. And then briefly after, about 2 seconds after, it's going to start recording. Eventually. There you go. And then it starts recording. And you're going to be able to record whatever it is you need to record. We'll just make a little brief video. See, like I'm just going to play with this stuff over here. And then when you turn it off like this into the save mode, it will save it. And you can press play and you can play it back. And you're going to be able to see that video. And the video quality is not terrible in daylight. It gets grainier as it gets darker, just like any other camera. And it's actually not that bad. The image is a little bit cropped in even for when you're using it from far away. But it is what it is. I mean, guys, it's a $20 to $25 camera, depending on what SD card you get with it. On the opposite side, you're going to notice there's another one that says record and save. You hit record, it's going to do audio. Now we're just recording audio right now. It's not going to record anything else except for audio. And then when you're done recording your audio, you're going to hit save. It's going to go right back into that save thing. You don't have to do anything. You can go right here and play. You can adjust your volume here. And you can turn the volume down as well. And it's pretty simple to use. The one thing I didn't know anything about this when I first got it, and I was turning it on and doing my stuff, and then I said, well, how do I turn it off? Where's the off button? There's no power button. You notice there's no power button here. So I looked over and I pressed all the buttons. I was messing around for a little while, and then I went and I read the instruction manual. And I guess the play button is also the power button. So you just hold it down to shut it off. If you wanted to put it on, and then you can put it in standby by just going ahead and shutting the screen off. So this button turns the screen off. So you go like that, it turns the screen off. Go like that, it turns the screen back on. Some of you guys might want to know, how do I turn the infrared on? All you have to do is press the up button for the volume because it says lamp right next to it. So it says lamp. And now you've turned the LED on for the infrared. You press it again, it turns it off. Very simple to use, easy operation. If you want to jump in the menu, you can do that as well. It also has, you can take pictures. So if you want to take pictures, you have the video mode here, you have picture mode here, and then you have the audio and stuff like that. So it's going to go through, you're going to be able to cycle through and see all the stuff that you've recorded as well. So if I wanted to play back, say this video here, all you have to do is press play.
And this is what the video is going to look like when you're playing it back. And you can see it doesn't have the best stabilization. I'm going to say that once again. You're going to be bouncing back and forth, but the picture itself is relatively crisp. It's right now in this video, it's sunset. The sun's going down. It's very bright, but it's still pretty crisp picture, but you can see the colors are a little bit off, you know, they're not perfect, and that's what you're going to get. I mean, but everything is really crisp for the most part. I mean, if you pause this video just to kind of see what you wanted to see really quick, you're going to be able to see some pretty decent detail.
And pretty nice. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not something that you're going to go ahead and say, oh, this is the best camera I ever owned. You just press the button there and you shut off. But for a budget, if you guys are on a super budget where you need a couple nice little cameras, say you want to protect yourself in a situation, this is going to be evidence. This is going to give you decent evidence. It's verifiable. It's video. You know, instead of intruding somebody with holding a cell phone in their face during an encounter or situation,
you're going to have a low profile camera that's not going to draw a lot of attention to you. It's going to de-escalate the situation, or at least not escalate it more by having your camera out. And then you can kind of have people give you their real reaction versus their pretend reaction, especially when you're dealing with like police or something like that. You're going to want to be able to protect yourself. And I think that this camera does a pretty good job at collecting the evidence that you're going to need to tell your side of the story with all the facts and all the data right there for people to visually see and hear. And if I had to pick one of my biggest gripes, like I said, it's just this stupid clip was just absolutely terrible to work with.
But if this was a better clip, I would give this like at least a solid 7 out of the different body cameras that I've used that are low budget.
And that's a pretty high score considering I have very high expectations for every product that I have here on the channel. This one almost didn't make it. Now, as far as the menu goes, it's relatively easy to navigate. All you have to do is press the side button that says menu, and you're going to be able to jump into this. It's going to have all the different things laid out here right in front of you. There's like 12 or 13, 14, 15, 16 different options to choose from. The first one's going to be your resolution, and that's going to be 1080 HD, and then 1080p, and then 720, and then obviously it goes up to 50 megapixels for your camera, and then all the way down to VGA, which is the lowest resolution. Then obviously you have your time and your date, which is going to be easy to go ahead and do. And then you have a motion detector, which is basically like a spy camera. You put that somewhere, you set the motion sensor up, and anybody walks by it, it's going to be able to take videos and pictures and whatever. Next up is your loop recording. You have 5-minute intervals or 10-minute intervals, and that's just going to be the size of the clip that it takes a video of. And then jumping along there, and I usually keep mine to the 5 minutes so it's easier to kind of load up. And then, you know, image rotation, I don't exactly know what that means. I think it has something to do with the camera lens staying stable when you rotate it. It just keeps it upright instead of flipping it, which is pretty cool. And then mirror, obviously mirror is going to be like, if you're looking in a mirror, it's going to show everything to the left or the right when you change that. And I just leave that off because that's just stupid. I want to have people see what I'm seeing when I actually take a video. And then obviously down below, you're going to have your time and date stamp here as well. And I tend to leave that date stamp on there because I want people to know the exact time and date, whatever incident took place. Then exposure, and obviously format. You can reformat your card, language, and then auto power off. And you can turn that off as well, and you'll have a longer standby time. Then you have your LCD display timeout, and that's going to be set for 1 minute because I don't want to kill the battery. And then the indicator lights, or the little lights that blink while it's recording and stuff, you can turn that off or on or whatever. And then next up you have version, and that's going to be, you know, your format and what, you know, your updates and stuff like that for the firmware. And then obviously default comes back to all the settings, just going back to factory reset. So if you think this camera is going to fit your budget, you can pick up just the camera itself for $21.58 on the AliExpress website. And you can buy the 32 gigabyte one that's in this video for $26.08, which isn't too bad. And it goes all the way up to 256 GB. So that's going to give you a ton of recording time. And it's pretty decent camera overall, guys. So if you guys want to get this, go ahead. I'll leave a link down in the description. I hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, stay prepared.
Hey there, thank you for watching. You can pat this cat.